back. So I know I need 2 facings, right? So, now, this is where my seam is, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give myself just a straight line lined up here. So I've got a nice fold line, okay? So I call this my anchor line. Other people call it things. So when I say anchor line, I draw that so that I know where I'm starting, and so that if I'm laying something up and I'm tracing it, I've got a nice balanced line following the grain line on this gridded paper. So now I can I can line this up, but notice where I'm lining it. Hi, how are you? Okay, I'm showing facings, okay? So to come up with this facing, we know we have to have seam allowance and all that, but the seam allowance is already done. So the beauty about making facings after your pieces are done is that it's already got your seam allowance in it. I'm just tracing around the edge because it's got to match perfectly, right? So because this is very important, this fold line has to be where that finishes. If I did it like this, it's not gonna match, is it? So we're thinking about like how this is all gonna go down. So again, I'm not having a seam at the center front of my front facing. It's gonna be on the fold. So it will have no seam allowance at that point. So what I'm gonna do is I can fold this over, right? And what I can do is I can just do a little tracing around the top shoulder. Can you guys see? You can come over here, Megan, come over here so you can see. And I'll come around and help you to make sure. But I'm just gonna go around the top edge like that. Now, after I do that, I wanna make sure I go over it with a straight line, right? And I can tidy that up with my French curve. But what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put in my 1/2 inch, right? And after I do that, I can also just dot that around because I'm gonna keep this a 1/2 inch too. Just to finish my pattern so that I know. Now, right here, this is gonna be a fold. So what I can do, oh, did I not do enough beads? I didn't make that folded. So I don't want to, let's see if it's gonna make it. Yes, it will. So I have folded this now because then when I open it up, it'll be the same on each side. I'm gonna make the facing, let's see how much I did this, 3/4 of an inch. So what do? I go to 3/4 of an inch with my finger, and I'm gonna do dash lines following the other dash lines, and then what I can do is complete it with my French curve. Okay? And remember, when something is folded, now this is gonna be a big thing. When you go into that fold, it's got to be at that 90 degree. Why? If it loops up or down, you're gonna get a little dip. So you gotta be really careful when you cut it on the fold like that. So now what happens, take my paper scissors. I'm just gonna, you guys would use your French curve, but I'm just gonna pretend we've done that. And I cut it out and I'm done. So now we're gonna take the back. So look what happens when I open. I've got my neck. And it's going to follow this perfectly, okay? So what I can do is I can also notch that fold. When we do patterns, you guys are gonna learn that they don't do this in commercial patterns, but your center front, for anything that's center front or center back or whatever, has a notch. Then you know where the middle is, okay?